Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into Madhya Pradesh. People often call it the heart of India.
Yeah, geographically, it's right there in the center. And the source we're looking at today, it's basically a list of everything the state's known for.
Yeah, it's quite a list.
Yeah.
Pretty long and really diverse, too. So our goal here for you is to quickly sift through that
Mm-hmm.
and just pull out the most interesting, most sort of foundational stuff, from ancient history right up to modern life.
Mm-hmm.
What really defines MP?
And what's really fascinating looking at this document is how Madhya Pradesh isn't just famous for, like, one single thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's this incredible mix, this layering of time and different kinds of significance.
Totally. Okay, so let's start way back. The source mentions its ancient history. What really stands out there?
Well, you absolutely have to talk about the Vimveka caves. I mean, we're talking prehistoric paintings,
Right.
potentially 30,000 years old. It's some of the oldest evidence of human life anywhere in India. Just incredible.
30,000 years? That
Yeah.
scale is...
Wow. And okay,
remarkable.
alongside that prehistory, the source also points to ancient structures like the Sanchi Stupa.
Yes, exactly. It's one of India's oldest stone structures,
Mm-hmm.
originally put up by Emperor Ashoka.
Ashoka, right.
So it really speaks to those deep roots of, well, ancient Indian civilization and also Buddhism in the region.
Okay, so you've got prehistory, ancient empires. These layers are already building. What about famous architecture from maybe later periods? What else does the source highlight?
Oh, definitely Khajuraho.
Yeah.
That's known all over the world, right? Those temples.
The sculptures.
Yes, the intricate, sometimes pretty sensuous sculptures. But then you also have these massive forts like Gwalior Fort. Huge structure.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Mandu, that fascinating ruined city, as its really distinct Afghan architectural style. Quite different.
That variety is really something. Ancient stupas, these elaborate temples, imposing forts. How does that history then connect to the culture and spirituality the source mentions? Well, being so central, it naturally became a kind of crossroads.
Makes sense.
So MP is home to some really significant tribal communities like the Gond and the Bhil.
Mm.
And culturally, it's also known as a cradle for Indian classical music.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the Gwalior Gharana, it's a really major school of Hindustani classical singing, very influential.
And the document stresses the spiritual side too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Ujjain, for instance, it's one of Hinduism's 7 sacred cities, and it hosts the Kumbh Mela, that enormous festival.
Kumbh Mela, wow.
Plus, you've got 2 of the 12 sacred Jyotirlingas of Lord Shiva right there, Mahakaleshwar and Omkareshwar, and other sites connected to the Ramayana epic as well.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. The document also talks a lot about nature and wildlife. What are the big highlights there?
Kanha and Pench tiger reserves are definitely key mentions. Big conservation areas.
Pench.
Hmm.
That name sounds familiar.
It probably does. It's famously believed to be one of the settings that inspired Rudyard Kipling for The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book. Of course. That's a fantastic connection. And there's another park mentioned with a kind of unusual combination.
Ah, yes. Panna National Park. It's known for tigers, like the others, but it's also where India's only active diamond mines are.
Tigers and diamonds. That's quite a pairing.
It really is.
You also see mentions of places like Bejat, the marble rocks on the Narmada River. And the Narmada itself is mentioned as sacred.
Definitely. The Narmada is deeply revered. And rivers like it, the Chambal, the Betwa, the source points out how vital they are as lifelines for the state.
Sustaining the land, agriculture.
Exactly. Connecting communities.
Okay, and the source even touches on cities and some unique modern facts. What stood out to you there?
Well, Indore is a big one. It's the state's commercial center, but maybe more famously now, it's consistently ranked as India's cleanest city.
Yeah, by that Swatch Survection survey. That's a pretty impressive modern claim to fame.
It really is. And then Bhopal, the capital often called the City of Lakes.
And quickly on food, the source lists a couple of unique dishes.
Yeah, Poha-Jalebi gets a mention. That's like a classic breakfast combo there. Very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And things like dal bafla, which is sort of similar to dal bati you find elsewhere. And local specialties like butekakis. It's a savory grated corn dish. Seems interesting.
So, thinking back over all this, I mean, from potentially 30,000-year-old cave paintings,
Right.
ancient stupas, to these world-famous temples and forts, major spiritual centers, the inspiration for the Jungle Book.
Unique food, India's cleanest city, the only diamond mines.
Yeah, it covers so much ground.
This deep dive, even just quickly like this, it really gives you a sense of the sheer breadth of what makes Madhya Pradesh famous. It's not just one story.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? How can one single state, right there in the heart of India, hold such an incredible range?
Yeah.
From housing some of the country's oldest known human traces
Hmm.
to hosting huge religious festivals inspiring classic literature and having these unique modern distinctions like the cleanest city or diamond mining. What is this incredibly layered history, this diverse identity of Madhya Pradesh? What does that suggest about the amazing depth and diversity within India itself? Something to ponder.